to, you know, what the overall overarching company may be evaluated at. The projects have to follow certain economics in order for the utilities or the customer to be able to economically purchase the power, which, you know, if they are purchasing power for higher rates, then that comes down to the consumer as well. We do the best we can to make sure that the economics are sound with these projects while the development process keeps it safe and things like that. You know, an impact like that, you know, 3% is not a light fee for any type of development, you know, and that can very, very much throw off the economics of a project to take it from being viable to not. You know, these projects, despite some of the thoughts that people have towards them, that, you know, they're just wildly, you know, producing money, you know, the economics are very tight. They're very precise on these projects, and an impact like that, you know, could be something that would take the project out of contention for us and for the customer. I mean, I can tell you we're going to be committed to making sure this is done properly. It's done safe. We're committed to offering up expertise and, you know, expert witness and things like that to help you in this endeavor to do the ordinances. I would, you know, again, just ask that, you know, one of the two correct answers that Commissioner Magrum outlined, you know, that you do just, again, approve this because of all the things that we did follow and in the way that we followed it, and how we're going to operate it going forward.
Well, that's Aaron's opinion. My opinion is I feel we should table it. And nothing against the project whatsoever, none. But I feel we need to re-amend that book and you guys resubmit a permit that complies with what we've got in our book. I just feel you caught us guys off guard. We're all farm guys and whatever we do. But a $250 fee is not fair to the people out here at all.
And we agree, and that's why we didn't pay that.
Right,
just
I'm aware of
fair.
it.
Yeah.
I know that. You put $250 on each structure and each container. Correct. But
Which also we offered up, you know,
yeah,
I mean.
I'm aware of that.
So
yeah.
That's all, I would just ask that you take that into account. You know?
Yeah, and we are, and I am.
Because this is gonna significantly impact, you know, the project and the project goals. You know, it would be a big impact, where otherwise we could continue going forward with a properly sited and safe project, and we're gonna be here, we're gonna be partners of the county the way we are right now with the wind site, going forward here for a long time. I mean, we don't want any contention either, but you know, the process that we followed and everything, is, you know, again, we did everything right. We did everything that we could to make sure that we did it right. And I would just ask that, you know, at this time of the process where we are so close, we have an application in with the State Public Services Commission. You know, they're waiting for public hearings going through them as well. You know, and again, the customer and the utility with contractual obligations to the project are expecting a certain product at a certain time as well. And this could significantly impact our ability to follow through on those promises.
I know one thing I'd like to know is I would really like to get to the bottom of this property tax. What the actual impact is to Emmons County. And the reason I say that is because it has changed with every project. We thought we were gonna get boatloads of money, and something changed at the state level where they decided, no, we're gonna take some first and then you get this. And it happened with the turbines, it happened with the DAPL, and that's where I'd like to know for sure how this is going to be taxed and what the impact actually is on Emmons County. Because if I'm gonna lose some contacts in my phone from this audience, one way or the other voting for it or against it, I wanna know that we did it to benefit the county, not just to put up a battery storage out in the middle of nowhere to benefit a couple people. I want it to benefit the whole county.
I want it to benefit everybody.
Well, and that's where my big thing is right now is figuring out that how the tax actually affects this county. I mean, how it's taxed, what the percentage is, and I'm thinking Senator Magrum's probably right, the state probably doesn't have a formula. They may just scramble the minute a guy calls up there and asks for it, and I don't know how long it takes to get a formula or what the plan is, but it probably won't be instantaneous. But I believe that that's a concern of people sitting back here as well. You know, big corporations are coming and they're setting up shop in the whole state of North Dakota, cause we're cheap. Some guys are farmers, and on this board.
Yeah, we're not all farmers.
Some of us are not,
Clarify that
anyway,
a little
and there are people in this county that feel like we're easy targets because of that. And I'm not taking anything away from you, you guys have been 100% upfront. I agree with Aaron, this process has been, I think, very good. And we've learned some valuable lessons throughout the process. But I think we have to find those answers out before we can 100% pass this. And I'm not saying that we're talking months, it can be days, but I sure would like to find out what the impact on our county would be tax-wise. That's a big sticking point for me.
I mean, my only response, there wouldn't be a negative impact.
No, I know it wouldn't.
And the citing of the ordinances wouldn't change how the state ultimately does come to that conclusion of how they're gonna assess it, you know, so, I mean, I agree, and I would love to have those numbers.
And I mean, I don't know if we can get those numbers in a timely fashion, but I just know that I've been on the city council here in Linton for 15 years, and it was always rainbows and sunshine with everything that was coming to the county. And then after the state scooped in and took their portion, no offense, Senator, took their portion, it was crumbs. It wasn't this big basket of money that we thought everybody, oh, the school's gonna be getting this much from that, and it wound up being a fraction of that. And I just think, without that number, my feeling is I owe it to the citizens of the county to make sure that if I do go with this project, we're getting a benefit out of it. Of that tax, whether, you know, I'd like to know if it's gonna be centrally taxed, or it's gonna be locally taxed, or, and I don't know if that, I don't know where that falls, but, cause
Right.
it's like stated earlier, we probably don't have a clue, cause it's the first one, I think the closest one I see is in eastern Minnesota. So, the upper Midwest, other than that one, haven't even seen one of these, so.
Right. I mean, I would say that there would never be a negative impact to the taxes, you know, and the way I would just personally view it myself is, you know, do you want, I'm just throwing arbitrary numbers out there, do you want 20% of something, or do you want 100% of nothing?
Well,
Of nothing, you know?
it calms some of the
projection, like an
constituents though
insurance
that aren't
It's a
all
what?
for
It's like a projection with an insurance company selling you a policy.
Well,
There's no guarantees.
right, but the difference would be, one is you're gonna pay, you're gonna come out of pocket, the other one is money's gonna come into your pocket. Here, we're talking about, in any case, there wouldn't be a negative impact to the taxes. You know what I mean? The project's gonna produce taxes regardless. Now, what the final number is to that, we don't know yet, and to be fair, we didn't come in with the rainbows and sunshine, you know, narrative. You know, in fact, we tried to make it abundantly clear at every turn that these are not numbers that we even want to tell you, because we don't wanna bring any false hope, we don't wanna bring any false sense of like, look at this, we're gonna bring this in because all this money. You know, and again, at the end of the day, outside of the money and the you know, changing of ordinance process that you guys wanna do, it still remains that the project is safe. It still remains that
Right.
it's, you know.
And I don't think there's a question of that as of with me.
No.
So-
But yet I don't have certainty that it is perfectly safe. Nothing's perfectly safe.
I know when we talk about long-term expenses, how long have the turbines been up?
How long is it now?
2019,
I
I
think
believe,
5, 6 years.
We're just getting the Tembic Road back in shape.
Shit.
I mean, we're dumping gravel and dumping gravel and dumping gravel, so there is an expense down the road to some of this stuff.
We're trying to address that.
Yeah, and I get that, I'm just saying,
The turbines in.
we're just trying to make sure the constituents of the county are trying to make sure we're getting a value for this, and I don't blame them. I'm not against the project, I think it's a solid project, I think it's safe, but I wanna make sure that the people that are concerned about it are addressed, because, they're the people that vote me back in, or kick me out, or, I mean, and I don't really, whatever, 3 years down the road voting, whatever, but I just wanna do what's right, I ran to do what's right by the people of Emmons County, and like I said, we've been burned by, we're gonna make so much money off of these wind turbines, and it comes out to be, no, it's not. You know, you're right, you didn't come in with rainbows and sunshines, I just would like to see better numbers, and like I said, I don't know if we can get them. I don't know how we go about that, but I'd like to at least investigate to try to find out if we can get answers from the state, how they plan on, or what their plan would be. Not that it would follow through that way, but.
Is there a threshold amount that, you know, you guys are looking at tax benefit wise, or, I'm trying to just figure out the tax part, and, you know, we agree that we need to figure that out. When it comes to, you know, the purpose of ordinances and public hearings, it's for the safety and for, you know, the local siting of it, to make sure that, you know, you're not impacting your constituents that you're protecting. You're not, that you have ordinances in place and that projects follow certain things, so that you're not putting dangerous situations next to your constituents.
Being you made that statement, I will say yes. 3% of 180. That we're guaranteed we're gonna get.
The only thing that I would,
That's what I'm thinking, that's just my thought process.
the only thing I would just add to that though is, I know you're coming in and your project is safe and it's running by the book and everything, and you're having trouble trying to figure out why we're concerned about dollar amounts, which is fair and unfair at the same time, because we're kinda talking about multiple things, about updating fee structures, looking at value. Emmons County's not looking at adding a battery storage facility for just adding a safe, viable battery storage facility. You understand, like, from our aspect, it has to create value in the county, whether that's jobs, tax revenue, whatever, you can name several reasons why a project would be valuable to an area. Segues to other industries, whatever. We're not looking for a battery storage facility unless it creates value in the county. So that's the reason why we probably fixate on things that you might feel is maybe not such a big deal, like why are we focused on that when it's a safe project? We're not looking for a safe battery project. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's where, like, it's not like an aspect of it, it's like, we gotta get one in, no matter if we get $1 or 100 million. It's gotta create enough value, so that way when we walk the streets with people, they're like, why the hell did you grant the project for that? You know, what are you looking for to get from that? Well, it brought this, this, and this, that's what we felt had value in it. So that's, and I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just saying that
Which is our schools, our
you guys
fire
creating a
department,
safe
our
project
ambulance.
doesn't necessarily always mean value if we're not necessarily looking for that specific project.
I look at long-term destruction of infrastructure.
Yes.
This material's gonna be brought in on our infrastructure, that these people pay for it to keep and they place them, and we need to maintain it. We've seen it on different small projects, on bridge companies coming in and out of here. They don't give a damn when they come in, what the condition of these roads are, if it's wet, coming from Minneapolis, coming over here, they don't know, and they really don't give a damn. They bring their equipment in, they do what they gotta do, and they haul it out when they feel they have to get it out to go to the next job. We, the people out here, pay for that damage. These companies are gone, and the people absorb that expenditure. That's why I just feel we need to protect us and our people, if I'm on this board, long-term, and that's my opinion.
Well, and I'm just trying to protect our citizens and
Yes.
make sure that there's a value in this. And I, you know, I'm not attacking you guys at all on this, I'm just saying, these are the questions I have, that if I vote for it and the 50, 100,000 people in Emmons County that were against it, at least I can feel good that the reason I did it is because there was an investment in our county. You know what I mean? The tax dollars for a small county like ours, they're huge. I mean, they're as big as the permit fee, but those tax dollars, like I said, they go to the school, they go to the fire department, they go to the ambulance, they're a big deal, and that's the only reason I asked
So-
that, just because we've been burned a few times, and those are, like Dan just said, you pass this and people go, really? We're making 20 grand a year off this, and we gotta stare at this thing out here, and that's, I'm just, like I said, I'm just curious what, those taxes are very important to our county.
So, two quick things, I mean, one, just in regards to the road situation, I mean, there is a road use agreement that would be in place, you know, with the road department, things like that, you know, the people behind me might not know, but there is a document in place with this process, that starts with, you know, taking video, of the roads, things like that govern, you know, that we will bring the roads back to pre-project condition. You know, there are things in place that will go with that road use agreement to make sure that the roads and that infrastructure is, properly kept up with. And it's gonna be roads that, you know, obviously our, operations people use as well. So I just leave that comment, and then just last question, I mean, if we look at what the, 3% of the project would be, I mean, is there a condition that, you know, makes up, you know, if the taxes that, you know, once we do figure it out, if the taxes don't, reach the amount that 3% would make, that we can make up the difference there, you know? Like, let's say, you know, right now we have the $60,000 in, you know, taxes, you know, get figured out or whatever, and it's only $4 million in taxes that you guys get. But that 3% would equal, you know, $6 million for the application fee. I mean, can we conditionally make up the difference if the tax amount does come below that 3% target application fee you guys are talking about? I mean, basically making sure that the county gets made whole for that 3%, for that $6 million at a minimum, just as a back safe.
Well, for me, it really doesn't matter. Updating the book or not, I really had no feelings that this project was any benefit for the county, so it really didn't matter to me, you know. We gotta update our zoning book, but, you know, if it's, 5% or if it was 60,000, wouldn't have changed the way I feel, you know. I see no real benefit for it in the county. So, that's the way I feel.
Is there a detriment to the county? I mean,
No, but there's no positiveness either, I don't think, you know. I don't know, maybe there is. We're not sure about all the safety parts of the, I mean, you keep telling us that, but we also read, you know, I read quite a few stories on the internet where there's been issues, and I don't know, are we immune from that? I don't know that we are, you know, so, you know, so that is a detriment, I think, to the county, so, you know. And the discussion's been made, most of the grid, they talk grid, but the grid, you know, probably, you know, we got all these basin towers, all that power goes through here. And, you know, and with no benefit really to us, you know, so.
yeah,
I feel if you say that you can adjust to say the 5 million, say it's 3 million. I feel a company, or these monster companies, and I'm not putting you in that category, but they're monsters. $3 or $5 million on these projects up front to the counties is not a lot of money to do business. They don't even own the land, or you bought 20 acres, or
Right.
you leased 20 acres, but,
again, it comes down to proproject economics, just, you know, to make it
Yeah.
work, you know,
but
but.
it's economics to the county also.
And, agree,
You know
and
what I'm
that's what, if the 3% is, you know, the desire, or 3% of this cap, you know, then I would say we can conditionally make up that difference. If these taxes come back and it's not gonna reach that amount, okay, you know, I would just request then that, you know, you just table the permit, table the discussion.
I think that would be wise,
I
since
think
you've
it'd
been
be
here,
wise
you've
right
been
now,
here a
just
long
to table.
time, people are probably starting to get tired.
It's 10 to 10,
One
we started.
commissioner's getting grouchy, I can tell you that right now,
Yeah.
so. Right, so I think what we'd have to do, or at least is probably just accept that this was the public hearing and then decide to make a decision at a later date. The only question would be, do we want to decide by when we wanna make a date?
I don't think you wanna set a tentative date, do
I
you?
don't think it would be good to just leave them hanging with just leaving here,
Well,
would be the fairness option of it. Like,
yeah, you have a timeline and with the PSC, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that scheduled? What's the date on that?
So we wouldn't get the public hearing scheduled until.
This is
This
passed.
is permit, correct? So then there really
The
isn't.
PSC honors the local subdivisions when it comes to.
It's a certificate of site compatibility, so the PSC
So
would.
they honor us.
That was sarcasm, that has nothing to do with you. I think we should probably consider it for a specific time, whatever that would be. I think it would probably be at least a week. I think we should go at least a week.
Oh, I'd say at
Like,
least.
I don't think, no, we're doing it tomorrow or whatever, or if we wanna wait till the next meeting or so, that's a month from now. I mean, that's where I'm just saying, like, we should at least,
You think it's too long?
we at least owe it to
Well,
everybody
yeah,
that's participating,
yeah,
we should
time.
pick a time that we
Yeah.
should at least expect to have a decision and probably just have a short special meeting on it.
Do we have to?
I mean, the PSC does something similar, all of a sudden you find out 2
I'm
days
gonna be
before they're
gone.
gonna make a decision.
It's 24 hours.
I'll be gone the 13th and the 27th.
Just about 24 hours for the open.
The 13th through the 27th,
Yep.
Well, we can do it, we don't have to, we can do it,
well, the 11th would be 6 days, I mean, do you really need 6 days to stew on it?
Well, if he wants to get numbers from the tax office, it might.
Well, that would be a question that would have to get asked to the tax office to see if it, I mean, if it's 3
Well,
months
that
from now,
doesn't-
if it's 3 months from now, we're not gonna wait 3 months.
Yeah, that doesn't deter.
So that's where I would say, I would agree with Gardner in the fact that it's a phone call or two that could get made and find out if they already have something in place, or if they have something in the works to at least inspire the fact that there's gonna be some kind of answer coming. I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, I just feel like we're gonna, I mean, the 11th is a Monday, that's 6 days from now. I feel like that gives you 6 days to find some more information and stuff, is that too short a notice? I really don't
No.
feel like that is.
I don't think we need to drag it
One thing
on.
with that date is you will need to utilize a different route. We have trial that day here in here, so.
Well, maybe it would be best in that
We
trial.
have human services.
Or I shouldn't say trial, we have a court hearing. Yeah, you probably.
Well, I feel like in 6 days, we could probably prepare the auditorium to make a decision and do it down there.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I feel like that gives Craig enough time to set up some tables and set up the audio, we do it down in the auditorium.
He was preparing to set it downstairs just in case there was overflow.
Craig's impressive, you'll get it set up. So, yeah,
no doubt.
I feel like we should make a decision August 11th, I mean, 9 AM, like we would do a meeting time, and just schedule the fact that we're gonna make some kind of decision or figure out what we need to do by then. I think it'd be fair to tell everybody like an expected time.
Aaron, don't you have to adhere to open meetings?
Go ahead, excuse me, speak up.
Don't you have to adhere to open meeting laws? Is it 10 days or is that something that you can?
I don't
I
believe with
just
this,
wanna mention that.
yeah, well, with this being a special meeting and the fact that we're announcing it right now, we probably qualify, that'd be one thing to double check. Can we schedule a special meeting 6 days from now, or are we outside the law?
What is this?
Just 24 hours.
Yeah, no, it'd be open to the public, I mean, that's exactly right, so we're announcing it now, it'd be a special meeting, open to the public. If that is the time, it's a great question, Dave. Can we do, I'm just trying to be reasonable with the timeline here.
Well, we can't publish notice if we want to do it as a public hearing, we wouldn't get published in time.
Yeah, and we are in a
You can
pinch.
do a special meeting,
With
Are
the
you
chairman,
having a public hearing again, or?
No.
no, it wouldn't be a public hearing, but we need to make a decision, that's where, if we're gonna, I mean,
I think
unless someone's prepared to make it right now. Is someone prepared to make a motion now then, if that's the case, I mean. That's what I mean.
I'd like to check into those few things. Are you available, Clint, on Monday if we would have any questions?
Yeah. Yes, I'll make myself.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with whatever timeline, I'm just trying to be reasonable by thinking
No, I
that was
agree.
that was in the Monday
I
next
think
week, but
if we
Dave
don't
brought up
vi-
an excellent point that I probably shot off without checking in if we can actually.
Yeah,
do
if we
it.
don't violate any laws, I'd say the
Right.
sooner the better.
We're not violating the law, Carpenter?
Well, you just get slapped on the wrist anyway from the attorney.
Yeah, Dave's not a marshal no more, he's not as
But he
scary.
knows the law.
I just am trying to be fair and reasonable, I don't want to just be like, well, we're leaving here and we'll think about when we're gonna make a decision. I feel like we owe it to people to be like, we're gonna make a decision by, and I wanna comply with every part of the law. That was my, just trying to be,
August 11th?
I would say August 11th at 9 AM unless there's something in the law that says we can't do it, then we'll have to make some kind of a.
Why don't we do it on that Tuesday, then we know his room's available?
Well,
Because
Tuesday
we
would
don't
be the
know,
12th.
we don't know the auditorium's available.
I'm leaving on the 5th, I'll be gone.
Well, he's leaving on the 13th, that's why I thought the 11th, because the 12th is probably a hard day when he's leaving on the 13th, because he said he's going on vacation, so. That's the reason for the quick, that's where I was like, well, the 11th.
But you'd be here the 12th.
Huh?
But you're here the 12th.
Later than 12th.
And that was Marlo's said, the 12th.
Well, the 12th would be a week from now.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm fine, whatever, I don't.
I mean, if that makes a difference, the room's available, we can do it right here.
If Materi was here, I would pick the 15th, it don't matter.
Does that work for you, or does that?
That should work.
Is this room, Wayne, is this room available on the 12th?
The next day, the Tuesday,
Yes, I believe it is.
unless something continues from Monday.
Right, but that would be
Most
tough.
likely won't happen, okay.
No, that would be tough.
Well, how about the 12th at 9 AM, that's a week from now,
Yeah.
pending any legal ramifications. If there are, we'll have to reschedule.
We'll get a hold of it.
Well, we'll have to be transparent with the public too, I mean, this has gotta be open and reasonable, but I'm just, unless someone's confident making a decision where, like I said, there's a lot of information got brought up tonight, we just.
Okay, at this point, go ahead.
If I could just make one, I just wanna thank everybody for coming here, and I know it's late, and, you know, apologize for waiting so long. We're available for questions, you know, we want, again, same way it started, we wanna inform you guys, we understand this is new, you know, and new things can be difficult to kind of wrap your head around, we understand it completely. We're gonna be available to you guys for information, we'll be here again, obviously, to keep discussing it, but, thank you for your time, thank you, and thank you for coming so late. Drive safe.
I want to thank everybody, you, NextEra, and all the general public, our board, Marlos, everyone, Joe. Thank you for attending this, it's educational to everybody.
Thank you for your time, guys. Again,
Okay.
thanks.
At this point, is there a motion by Miller to adjourn? Second?
Second.
By Magrum, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried.